Ford has rebooted its Mustang Mach-E, its original EV, and this is the new version, the MY25 version of the all-electric mid-sized SUV. Now, the formula hasn't changed. It's still a practical 5-seater, family-focused to some extent, or couple-focused electric car, but it's also got some, I guess, Mustang harks back to those original sports cars in terms of the look here and there. But really, this is a car that's designed to take on something like the Tesla Model Y in the sweet spot of the electric car market. It's still available in 3 models. You can get the entry-level Select or the Premium in the middle grade. Both of those are rear-wheel drive, or the top shelf, the Mustang Mach-E GT. Full performance, all-wheel drive, a pretty quick car. Pricing has edged up a tiny bit, but also so have the features, and of course there are styling tweaks, including new wheels. So let's hit the road, see what this thing's all about. The big message with this MY25 Mach-E is more of the same done better, essentially. So it's got the same spacious 5-door body, and it is fairly spacious. You get decent space in the back, and it's practical up here. They've relocated the gear selector, so it used to be in the center, for example. It's now off as a column on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. So that frees up more space, gives you even more storage inside, so that works really well. Speaking of storage, you've now got a fractionally bigger boot, which is a bonus, but the frunk, or the thing below the bonnet, that's actually a lot smaller because they've added a thing called a heat pump, and a heat pump's all about efficiency, cooling and heating the cabin a little bit more efficiently, and allowing the car to travel further on a charge. Now, speaking of that, there have been some tweaks there in terms of batteries and so on. So the entry-level car, the Select, it still gets an LFP, a lithium ferrous phosphate battery, marginally smaller in capacity. Those improvements to efficiency have actually kept the range the same as before. Once you step up to the Premium, the mid-grade variant, you get a bigger battery, an NMC battery, nickel manganese cobalt, and that takes you a full 600 kilometres of WLTP range. Now, both of those cars get a new rear electric motor, so it's actually now Ford in-house design. So instead of buying one from a supplier, they've designed their own electric motor, and it makes more power. You're looking at 212 kilowatts. And I'm telling you, that power is absolutely fine in terms of what you're going to need day to day. So you floor the throttle, and this thing goes pretty well for what is an entry-level car. But I say entry-level car, and the challenge this car is going to have is pricing. It is not super cheap. So you consider a Tesla Model Y, for example. That's the top seller in this class, and it sells from $57,900 before on-road costs. Well, you're looking at about almost $9,000 more for this one when you get into the car. So it's a fair step up. So that's certainly going to be a harder sell. That said, you get plenty of gear in it. You get things like a panoramic sunroof, electric front seats, heated steering wheel. So it's loaded with gear, and it certainly presents very well. Now, Ford has also tweaked the suspension on this car, or at least the 2 entry-level ones, your rear-wheel drive versions. So they've got new shock absorbers, new springs, a whole bunch of different components in the suspension to not so much sharpen it up, because it was always a really sharp drive, but to improve the comfort levels. And you certainly get that. It rides really nicely. It's on 19-inch wheels, but even so, it's really comfortable in terms of the way it deals with bumps. And it steers well as well. It's actually a fun car to drive, and that's a massive part of the push with this car. Ford is almost admitting it's not going to sell nearly as many, because they're saying the fun factor with this car, it's an enthusiast-focused EV, if you like. You've got 3 drive modes, for example. Whisper is your calmest one, and that's where things are more relaxed, I guess. You've got lighter steering, and things are a bit less tense in terms of the throttle and so on, and it also is quieter, as the name would suggest. Then you dial up Active, and that's probably your everyday sort of one. It's a bit more sporty in terms of you get a bit more sound going on, and you also get a little bit of sharpness to the throttle. But if you want to really sharpen things up, you hit Untamed. Straight away, it gives you more regenerative braking, so you've actually got to push through that with the accelerator if you want to maintain a speed. But you got a lot more sharpness to the throttle, and you get a bit of beefiness to the fake engine sound, so it steps things up a little bit. But if it is performance that is high on your agenda, then the GT, the top of the range one, that's the one that people are going to go for. It's close on $100,000 before you get it on the road, but it gets dual electric motors, so it performance-wise, you've got all-wheel drive, you also got 434 kilowatts of power, so monstrous amount of power, obviously extremely quick when you step on it. So this is the GT version, dual motor, more than double the power, 434 kilowatts. We've got an open runway here. Let's see what it's like. Straight away, it's struggling for traction as we're trying to take off, but yeah, look, it builds pace
amazingly quickly.
That GT version also gets things like sports front seats and much bigger Brembo front brakes. So all aimed at, I guess, stepping up that driving experience and making it a more exciting and enticing car all around. Of course, there's always been one huge controversy with this car, and that is the Mustang name. Obviously, when people think Mustang, they think sports car, V8 engine, muscle car, I guess old school fun, and this is anything but. This is practical. This is far more everyday and obviously far more family focused than your average Ford Mustang. But, you know, Ford's saying they want this car to be more about the fun factor for the EV converts, and potentially for people who haven't thought of an EV, who want that performance and also want that look and that design. And that's the thing, you've got a few of those Mustang styling cues outside, the light signatures, for example, particularly at the rear, and even the grille, the way the treatment generally of the car, it's got a bit of that Mustang muscle to it. It's also got a few quirky things here and there. So you haven't got traditional door handles, for example. You've got buttons that you press and then the doors kick open a bit. So trying to introduce a bit of that tech, a bit of that future-focused thinking to the car as well. So that is the MY25 version of the Mustang Mach-E. It doesn't mess with the formula at all, and it's still a decent driving car. It's tweaked those things ever so slightly to step things up. The ride's a lot better, for example. And to be honest, the rear-wheel drive versions, the entry-level Select or the mid-grade Premium, that would do me just fine. You've got plenty of performance going on there. To be honest though, the biggest challenge this car's going to have is pricing. It's more expensive than the heavy hitters in that electric SUV segment, and that's probably going to turn some people off. But I guess if you want exclusivity, if you want a car that stands out, something a little bit different and obviously fun to drive, this thing ticks plenty of boxes.